What's up, people? It's your girl Adeola. Moving on to Equatorial Guinea, whose president Theodore Obiang is currently the second longest serving president in Africa, 39 years in power. You guys know that Paul Biya of Cameroon is now the longest serving president in Africa, 44 years in power, because he used to be the prime minister before he became the president. So when you count his years as a prime minister as well as his years as a president, right now Paul Biya of Cameroon has been in power for 44 years. You know, Biya is now 86 years old, which explains why his wife now has to literally raise his hands in order for him to wave at the people.
Si je vois la difficulté que nous avons désormais à circuler ici, le président de la République qui se découvre le visage de...
Che, is it my force to be president? I don't know. Anyway, I digress. You know, Theodore of Equatorial Guinea is now 77 years old, and he came in through a bloody coup in 1979, and later he made his son a minister. In 2012, he made this same son the vice president of the country. He also made his brother a minister, by the way. I talked about all this in 2013. Man, we've been doing this show for a long time. Quite a while. You have done well. Anyway, the son is popularly referred to as a playboy. That is not coming from me, by the way. I don't know why, but I guess, you know, it's coming from reporters. Maybe because of some of the things he posts on Instagram. You know, he likes to party. He likes carnivals. Like he was in Trinidad for the carnival march of this year. That's a Nigerian song, right? Anyway, so he's always on vacation.
Meet one of Instagram's most famous playboys. He tours the world, driving fast cars and eating at the world's finest restaurants. Posting his exploits on his Instagram account under the name Teddy Ngema. But this isn't your typical Instagram star. He's the vice president of a country.
The guy is always on vacation. I guess his job is very demanding. I don't know, which is probably why he's always cruising. You know, I'm just a bit disappointed by the way that my boyfriend performed at his birthday party last year. I was like, wait, what? Akon? Like, Akon? How could you do me like that? If you want this relationship to work, you cannot be doing me like that. Anyway, the guy has never been married. He turned 50 this month actually, but he's known for dating a lot of women. He was the one that bought Michael Jackson's glove. My only beef with the guy, you know, is the fact that dude still got perm in his hair. Relaxer. How can you be putting relaxer in your hair? You are a 50-year-old man. At the age of 50, I don't get it. Maybe it won't bother me if it actually looks good on him, but it doesn't. It doesn't. Even African women are embracing the beauty of their natural hair. Amen, somebody. Why did you put this up? Did anybody send you? We're talking about the man. By the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, which is where Corridor Dog out this picture, I don't understand you. Like, seriously. In fact, I'm giving you just 1 minute to sort yourself out. Search for Adeola on Instagram. I'll give you just 1 minute for you to follow the ladder to heaven. Where was I? Equatorial Guinea. Okay, so the last time that we talked about him was in 2017 when his £107 million mansion was seized by France, for which he allegedly spent £40 million on furniture alone. It was a 6-story building with 101 rooms. I mean, some people are crazy. I mean, seriously, what do you do with 101 bedrooms? And of course, they seized several luxurious cars that he had in France, including 2 Bugatti Veyrons. I'm like, what? As of that time in 2017, that's like one of the most expensive and fastest street cars in the world. $1.7 million to $3 million on one car. You think that Dino Melaye likes fancy cars, my people? This one is a senior brother to Uncle Dino Melaye. But yeah, no vex. Anyway, the guy has been in the news again lately. First of all, because they're getting ready to auction 25 of his cars in Geneva. We're talking about cars like Aston Martin, Bugatti Veyron, Ferrari, Lamborghini. These cars apparently have less than 620 miles on all of them. One of them even has only 201 miles. I'm like, what's the point? Now, the second reason why he's been in the news recently is because he went to Brazil for medical treatment.
Federal police and revenue authorities in Brazil at the weekend detained a delegation led by son of Equatorial Guinea President Theodore Obiang. The secretary to the embassy in Brazil has told the police that the vice president was in town for medical treatment.
Okay, that I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, your father has been president since 1979. Okay, since 1979, you are the vice president. So you couldn't build one hospital good enough for the father and the son to be treated, or is it that they don't trust the doctors in their country? I don't understand this.
In Equatorial Guinea, going to a hospital is in fact signing your own death sentence. My sister had a complication with a pregnancy, and she died at the hospital, bled to death because there was no doctor in sight.
Do you know that the president's brother, who was the Minister of National Defense, died this year in a South African hospital? They had to take him to South Africa for treatment. That doesn't make sense. He was 68 years old. Maybe he would have survived if they had a good hospital in their country. Don't get me wrong, Equatorial Guinea is a beautiful country surrounded by water, by nature. The nature there is so beautiful. 5 different islands. At least they developed the capital where the president and his family live. But I'll show you guys some videos at the end of this story. But considering that this is an oil producing country with just about 1.2 million people, and this is a country that makes more than $2 billion every year from oil revenue, the wealth gap, the wealth inequality is quite high.
Equatorial Guinea has the widest gap between GDP per capita or income per capita and Human Development Index, access to healthcare, access to water, access to education.
Several activists from Equatorial Guinea have said that the president and his family have personalized the oil revenue that is meant for the entire country.
He have purchased multi-million-dollar private jet, a mansion in Malibu, and then the luxury cars.
So Playboy, vice president, went to Brazil for treatment with a private jet and an 11-man entourage, and they were detained when they got to Brazil because he took $1.5 million cash to Brazil. How can one person be traveling with $1.5 million as pocket money? So Brazil seized the money. This is how they've been seizing their money everywhere. And they also seized 2 bags of expensive watches, which he took with him, worth $15 million. See, I don't know why one person needed 2 bags of watches when he's going for medical treatment. Does that make sense to you? It's so funny because they said all the watches were engraved with his initials.
Report disclosed that the money and watches were in 2 suitcases, citing the testimony of an agent who participated in the operation. In total, the delegation carried 19 suitcases in addition to a diplomatic baggage whose contents were not subject to disclosure.
Honestly, the way some African leaders are wasteful, man, it's unbelievable. Now, if you're wondering why people don't protest in Equatorial Guinea, if you're wondering why you've never heard of a protest there, it's because you get arrested, you get tortured, and sometimes you are even forced to pay fines for speaking out against the government.
Tutu Alicanti is a lawyer from Equatorial Guinea.
I sometimes refer to Equatorial Guinea as the North Korea of Africa. There are no freedoms.
It is extremely dangerous for people in my country to speak their mind about anything the government deems political.
You know, like this popular activist, Alfredo Okenve, late last year, he was arrested by soldiers who were looking for his brother, who is an opposition leader. They couldn't find his brother, so they beat him up and they tied his hand behind his back. They took him to a forest, they blindfolded him and took off his trousers, his pants. And not only did they beat him mercilessly, but they also stabbed him in the leg while telling him that the order is from above. So people don't talk in Equatorial Guinea. And like I said, it's a country of 1 million people, a very beautiful country, but that's not even up to the population of one state in Nigeria, which means the people there should have the best of everything. In any case, I really hope that they would at least someday build good hospitals of international standard in their own country. You can bet that this guy is probably preparing to take over once his father dies. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. You guys not know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Like I promised you guys, I like to show you the beauty, the sight and sounds of Equatorial Guinea.
Hola, hi.
¿Qué tal?
Muy bien.
Alright, y'all, it's been real, and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you're yet to subscribe, make sure that you do that. The last videos that we released this week, they are somewhere here on the screen. Find them and watch them, and subscribe if you're yet to. Until next time, I'm gonna see you later. Peace out.